All right, so I'm doing this video as part of my AI experiments. I've got a section on my blog that you're welcome to check out. As a matter of fact, let's pop over here and I'll pop open my blog. And if you go to Voice of the DBA, I think I've got this AI tag, but I've got really this AI experiments tag. And so if you were to come here, you'll see a bunch of stuff I've done. I'm writing posts. And so this is kind of the latest one that I'm doing here on this. So recently, I had somebody was asking me for data analysis help. This person was working in Power BI, had his report that didn't look right to them. They couldn't get the query to work correctly, and so they were like, "Can you help me do this?" I said, "Sure, happy to help you. Let me give me some of this data and work with it." The thing is, in this case, it was more, it was more like, customer name, um, and other stuff that was PII, right? That I was like, I don't want to do this. I could have asked the person to clean the data, but I thought, you know what? Let me try this. So I spent about 2 or 3 minutes kind of mocking this table up, thinking about the problem that I was dealing with, and knowing that um, what I'm really trying to do is across a date range, summarize this data, but I will have user data and I have other things in there. So I was like, let me just create this table, okay? And then let me come over here to Claude. So where's Claude? Here. There's Claude. I normally have it up. And what I wanted to do was put in a little prompt. So can you create some sample data for this table? Ensure a random number of users with different contact types. Okay. And then let's take this and let's paste this in there. I'm going to say go, right? So this is the Claude 4, the Sonnet model. This is the free, if you saw, this is the free thing. And so when I set this off, like I started to do some other work that was random, but when I came back, I saw it generate this data. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, right? It's kind of neat to see this thing putting it in there and saying these are the types. Okay. Now he's created it. Now it's summarizing what we did. But what if that's not right? Like, so I look at this and I said, well, really, uh, let's do this. Change all the contact types to be numbers from 1 to 5. Okay, because that's sufficient for my thing. And so now Claude will reason that and start to do it again. Now, this is the type of thing, if I was doing this manually, I'd really be doing what Claude is. I wouldn't be erasing lines like this, but I, this is the type of thing I would be doing where I'm kind of trial and erroring the things that I want to do. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. And so now look what it's doing. Now it's rewriting the data, but I can stop this and say, hold on, stop it here. Yeah, stop. In, ensure every row, every user has a contact type of 1, but random numbers of other types. Okay, so now I can stop it and I can say, hey, adjust what you're doing. Okay. So Claude will start to go, I need to fix that data again. And again, this is the type of thing I've done by myself where I've written this data and I was like, oh, that was dumb. Truncate table, rewrite the insert statements and do this again. Okay, and so now it can say, okay, it's given me oh, this is really cool at the top here, right? Like it's given me a legend, which I think is very cool, right? It's giving me these comments. So if I stuck this data in a repo for everybody else to look at, that'd be kind of cool. Uh, Add some users that only have a contact type of 1. Okay. Oh, it's already done that, right? Because 1 is email type, right? Yeah. So it's got some, right? So this one only has 1. Everybody has a 1, I think. All right, so it's given me a bunch of data here that I can just copy this and pop back over here, right? And this is how I do a lot of kind of mock-up stuff. I've got all this stuff available. I think I interrupted it in here, so it doesn't have that. But look, in just a few seconds, I've created this. something that's useful for me to work on a problem that I'm working on. Now I can insert this into the table. I can write some queries. I can go to Power BI and link to this table, and I can start to play with uh, fixing the data analysis for my friend that's asking. So I was curious though, if I did this, what happens in Copilot? So let's do this. I've got Copilot here. So let's do this. This is quick response in Copilot. Let's go. So Copilot, this is again the free version that's just in Windows 11. So it's like, yep, here it is. We'll do these things. And I can stop it again and say, make the contact types. I'm going to actually make a space there. Values, let's say numeric. If I can type 5, ensure every user has a row with a 1 and numbers of others. Duplicate some of the contact types greater than 1. Right, so now I've added more information to it. And look at this. It's gone through there. It started to say, so the first one has 2 2s. Right, and if we go down here, I've got a 1 and a 4 there. Generate 20 more rows, including some users with only a contact type of 1. Right? So the interesting thing to me when you start to play with AI is one of the best things is this is an explicit value, right? Contact type. Let's do it this way. This is an explicit value. So if I were programming a script or something, I couldn't do this, which is contact space type. But I can describe this, and look, it's created a bunch of these. Could you want to scale this or automate it with a source procedure loop? Could I automate this? Let me just ask, right? So what would this say here? Now it's going to give me a script that might do 50 rows, right? So I could do that. I could use a tally table here to do this. So less than 20, right? Uh, Now, certainly I would want to run this, right? So if I run this and I come over here to this thing and I would go, I'm not going to insert it, but I'm just going to run it. Does this work? I have to connect, of course, and see what happens if this runs. Bam, look at that. Now, that's not great, right? Because it's given me different values here. It's not varying these values. So certainly there's some code generation issues in there. But this is in fact giving me a start of something. Let's try this one real quick. Now again, I don't love Copilot. I tend to like how it's inserted. So I didn't really want that. Let's just do this. Select. Let's get rid of that. What does this give me? Yeah, so I think this has the same problems that Copilot hasn't reasoned this well with the code. But that is AI. Like that's the thing. Like I would immediately go, let me just handle this myself if I was only using Copilot. But the Claude thing is really kind of cool to do that. And I think the more that you just try some things, and if they don't work, you try to fix them, right? So what did I do here? I added two more two more adjustments to my code without having to write the code. And if it wasn't working here, I'd probably just stop and rewrite the code myself. Maybe I just copy this over here and then adjust it as I saw fit. But that would have just saved me some amount of time that I could have walked away from this and started to think about how am I going to do this in Power BI. So I really think that the AI thing is more helpful, but it's not always helpful. And so you just have to experiment. So hopefully you like this video and then give it a try yourself. Try your own experiments and see what works.